Welcome to On Air with Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. Welcome back to On Air with Kate Butler. We are so excited to have you today because I have a very special guest to introduce you to. And I know you are going to be blown away by her experience and her inspirational story. Dr. Lucette is a #1 international best-selling author, a veterinarian with over 3 decades of experience, and a seven-figure business owner who has spent 22 years owning and running her own successful veterinary practice. Wow. Already we are starting out with a bang, but we're not done yet. She has seamlessly transitioned her passion for healing from the animal kingdom to the human realm, inspired by the resilience she witnessed in animals and empowered by her own journey of overcoming adversity, including navigating a divorce, cancer, and financial hardship. Dr. Lucette founded a consulting company dedicated to personal transformation, drawing upon her own deep understanding of health, well-being, and the human-animal bond. She developed the Reverse, Reframe, Rebuild program, empowering individuals to identify and dismantle limiting beliefs, reframe challenges as opportunities for growth, and cultivate a mindset of resilience, confidence, and self trust. Doesn't that sound amazing? Dr. Lucette emphasizes living from within, encouraging clients to prioritize self trust, make decisions aligned with their authentic selves, and develop a strong sense of personal agency. By seamlessly integrating her medical expertise with powerful coaching techniques, she guides clients to improve their mindset, reduce stress, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. Dr. Lucette, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. So excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you here, and I want to kick off with a bang here. Can you take us to a defining moment in your life that really shaped where you are today?
I think the first defining moment, honestly, was the moment that I realized that I had cancer and was facing 15 months of cancer treatment with no child support and no paid sick days because I was self-employed and, responsible for my child, myself, and my staff and keeping the doors open of the business. And so that was a defining moment because it was a moment when I really wanted to just quit. I was so tired. It was right at the end of the divorce and that trauma. And I felt so overwhelmed, but also I couldn't, I couldn't quit, not just for me, but for my child. And so I found resilience and strength and so much within me that I had no idea I had. And I am so grateful for that because who I get to be today is very different because I got to find that part of me that I didn't know existed and be someone that I had no idea I could be.
And what do you think is one belief that you had to get rid of in order for you to fully step into who you get to be today?
That's a really good question. I would say one belief that I really chose to let go of that was very powerful for me was I believed that I should not need help. Like I should be able to do everything, right? And I realized in that moment that if I didn't accept help, like graciously, open armed, accept help, I was going to put more on the plate of my child who already had so much.
Wow.
Because, yeah, I mean, you're in a situation where you're going through surgeries, you're going through chemotherapy, you're having to show up to work, but you are not at full capacity
Mhm.
and you can't be. And so if I wasn't willing to accept help, then I'm almost like punishing her further than the stress she already has. So it forced me to decide to choose to really let people help me, to do things for her well-being that I might not have chosen if it was just me. But then what I learned from that, right? Really, I was letting love in that I wasn't allowing. Really, when we let people help us, whether we're grieving or we're going through challenges or just every day, we're letting love in, God's universe's love in. And then what happens is we have more love to give because we do that. And the ripple effect is giant. And that is something I know I did not understand prior to that. And so I felt so full so much of the time, even in such stressful situations, because of deciding and choosing to let that love in. The gifts that kept coming, the people that would show up to help me or to help her or to get her somewhere or to get myself somewhere. Or, there was a waiting list of people that wanted to go with me to my chemo and then go to lunch afterwards. Like it became this thing. And so I would not have done that prior to that. And it changed my life completely. And
Mhm.
it changed my attitude about, oh, allowing people to give is a gift to them. That then it's a
Mhm.
gift to you that then allows you to have the gift to give to others. And it gets bigger. It expands bigger than 2 + 2 is 4.
So how do you talked about your bio and you talked about some difficult times here and changing the belief in order for you to really step into who you truly are. But what would you say to someone or how did you stay resilient during those toughest times in your life? Tell me a little bit about that.
How did I stay resilient? Gosh, I've learned so much more about resilience in going through this, right? Because resilience to me now is about living from the inside out. It's about not needing other people's approval in order to be who you are. And appreciation was a really big tool for me in gaining that resilience and learning to appreciate myself, which allowed me to start hearing the voice in my head that was constantly beating myself up and I was never measuring up, that was absolutely negatively affecting my confidence, my resilience, my ability to find solutions. And in those situations, appreciating all the little things started helping me see solutions and ways to do things. And that really started expanding the resilience and the confidence and made the hard a lot less hard.
I love that. So this is part of what I believe you call living an extraordinary life. How do you help other people live an extraordinary life now?
So really it's about finding those things. So finding the things that you're telling yourself, and there are so many because society does so many of them. We learn it, it's ubiquitous it's everywhere all around us, to use a more common term. And so we take in this outside in living that makes us confused. We live in stress and anxiety. It's like, why are you feeling stressful and anxious? Because in that point, we're in the problem instead of focusing on there being a solution. And so really what I do is use tools to help you start really realizing how you're talking to yourself, what you're saying, and realizing how to make decisions. And because we get afraid of decisions, society puts a lot of judgment on a lot of decisions, and then we're afraid we're going to make the wrong one and we make none. And making no decision is worse than making a decision. You can make a decision, you can course correct. If you're not making any decision, nothing's happening. And anxiety and stress are compounding because of that.
Mm,
So there's a lot of different little tools that help us start getting out of our own way, honestly, because we're all meant to live extraordinary lives.
mhm,
And the tools are within us. We just don't realize that we have that power. How to take your power back and how to know when you're giving it away.
mhm, mhm. And how specifically do you work with people in what capacities?
So I do coaching. I have a coaching program called Your Extraordinary Life, which is really geared towards getting you from wherever you are to a place where you can envision what you want. You know how to take the steps towards what you want. You know when you're giving your power away and how to take it back. And you know what you're telling yourself. Because so much of the time, what we're telling ourselves is so innate. We've told ourselves that for so long, we don't hear it. And so giving you back the tools to create your own extraordinary life. And I also have a subscription program that gives the tools in 12 new pieces every month, and
Mm.
video podcast type form videos, and flip the script so you can start changing what you're telling yourself when you're struggling to change that script. I use it every day. I use flip the scripts every single day when I recognize that what I'm telling myself isn't productive, or I'm not feeling good, and I know that I want to get myself in a better feeling place. And I that's what flip the script is about, is changing what we're telling ourselves so that we can choose thoughts that serve us.
Incredible, incredible. And so we'll be including those links in the show notes. So you won't have to go far to find them. And is there a free gift that you would like to offer to our audience? I know you have a lot on your website. We'll include that in the show notes as well. So there are a lot of tools that you offer. Would you like to talk about one of them today, just so the audience can kind of get an idea of the different tools that you have available that can help them begin to live their extraordinary life?
Yeah, so I would choose the reframe game as the best free gift. What the reframe game is about, and it does come with a video explaining it as well as a PDF. And then of course there's a free 30-minute consult if you want to hop on and ask more questions. But it's about changing those thoughts in our head, because we can't go from telling ourselves, I can't do math. I absolutely can't do math, to I'm great at math, and believe it. That's an affirmation that isn't ever going to feel good. But you can start to reframe it and change the way you're thinking and open your brain up to ideas. So you can start to say, what would it be like if I could do math better? I wonder if there is some program out there that teaches people how to do math that think differently. Because what'll happen when you start talking to yourself in that way, you'll start seeing stuff. You'll see an ad on TV that's talking about teaching adults math, or, a different learning thing, or you'll get an email that you normally would consider junk email that says in big letters, how to learn math if you don't feel like you can, or something, because it's your brain starts working in a different way. It starts seeing things. The universe is, God is connected. And so when you start being able to reframe things in a way that isn't completely shutting your brain down. That's the problem. So much of what we tell ourselves shuts down our cerebral cortex, and it doesn't look for solutions. And we don't know we're doing that to ourselves. So we really believe that we can't do math because we've been telling ourselves we can't do math. So our brain says, okay, you said we can't do math, so we're not going to go look for a way to do math. And when we start reframing it, and we start saying, could there be a way to do math? Is there something, that some different way that it can be taught? And there is, by the way, a lot of different ways that's become a thing. Then all those things start showing up, and guess what? You can learn how to do math. And then maybe the reason you're telling, that's your excuse for why you haven't got your associate's degree or your college degree, or gone and done some sort of training that you would like to do. Now you can move into the next bigger vision. And that's exactly what living an extraordinary life, what using the reframe game is for, is to tell yourself a different story so that you can find the solutions that open up the world, open up your world to whatever it is that would make your biggest dreams come true.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that these simple mindset shifts can really make the biggest, most extraordinary difference in our life so that we can be living a life of joy, be living a life of fulfillment, be living the life that truly, we are meant for. And just to also circle back, we will be dropping that exact link in the show notes. So I highly, highly recommend definitely getting the reframe game, definitely getting into the subscription program. And absolutely what a generous, generous offer, by the way, to offer a 30-minute consult to figure out what is going on in your life. Where are you today? As human beings, we're always in a growth journey. So life is never stagnant. We're never not working towards something or working on something. And so what a generous gift to be able to talk to somebody who's been through it, obviously, with health challenges, relationship, business, and has come out of the other side and has now created a business to help you get to really where you want to be. And what I love about what I hear and see about your work, Dr. Lucette, is that you really have the ability to meet people where they are because you have been through it and you've sat in it and you've literally made your way through and learned these tools along the way, and you picked up what worked for you, and now you have expanded upon them and you're teaching them to others. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your generous gifts with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute joy, as always.
Dr. Lucette is an absolute incredible, incredible coach, speaker, author, consultant, trainer, and thought leader in our world today. I would highly recommend getting in touch with her for not only a one-on-one call, but also get in touch with her regarding any programs that you can take for her with her, and side by side learn from her in any way that you possibly can, because your life will change forever. Thank you so much for being here on this episode of On Air with Kate Butler, revealing life's best kept secrets. Dr. Lucette revealed many of them today, and she will reveal more for you when you get into her world. So definitely do that. Definitely check her out. And you can come back and thank me later, by the way, because your life will change forever. Thank you so much for being here on this episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening today. I would love to connect with you on social, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Kate Butler Books. If you're interested in accessing some life-changing tools and techniques, you can grab those right off of the homepage of my website for free, and that is katebutlerbooks.com. And you can always check back here to download new episodes from our podcast right here where you listen today. Until next time, thank you for making this world a better place just by being you.